Welcome to Blahzil. Well, the friendlies are coming up and they're one of those sort of necessary evils prior to major tournaments, especially the World Cup. It's one of those things as a player that you could do without, quite frankly, but they're also important in terms of fitness, in terms of getting yourself into a little bit of form. But at the same time, you don't want to commit fully and you're always a little bit worried about possibly picking up any injuries. So I used to hate them, to be perfectly honest, with good reason as well, because I played in Canada in 1986 prior to the World Cup in Mexico. And I wasn't playing particularly well. It's one of those, you're sort of going through the motions, getting a little bit of fitness. And then I just fell clumsily and landed on my wrist, the most painful thing I can ever remember in my life. And I thought I was out of the World Cup, and I was distraught. But it turned out to just be a very small fracture, and I ended up getting permission. It was almost last minute actually, getting permission to play in this particular cast that they gave me. So it's a nervous time for the players because you're desperate for the tournament to start. You need a little bit of fitness work, but you have these games. So England have two friendlies over the next few days, and clearly in the first one, Roy's mixing things up. He's given a lot of the players that are not going to start actually against Italy itself a chance, plus one or two that obviously probably will, that perhaps need a bit more match practice, having been out for a while. Wayne Rooney being one of them. He's made a lot of headlines this week about where he's going to play, and it's expected he'll play on the left-hand side. So Roy's clearly trying to find a position for him, a bit like I mentioned the other day in the sense that I think he's definitely going to play Sturridge up front in the middle. It's where you fit Rooney in aside from that, and what formula and formation that he decides to go with. So, but this is a chance now, isn't it, for someone to break through, whether it, a Barkley, a Wilshire's coming back from fitness, Sterling, players like that. This is an opportunity to go out there, show the manager that you want a place in that side. And for those kind of players that are on the periphery, these are the games that you actually want. Whereas the regular players that sort of know they're going to be in the side could just use these games as fitness and don't really apply themselves. But I remember it wasn't quite as close to the tournament, but I remember in 1990, Gaza thrust himself into things with an unbelievable performance at Wembley against Switzerland, scored a couple of goals if my memory serves me correctly, and from there on he took the tournament itself by storm. So let's hope one of our supreme young talents can do that this time around. We'll be watching closely.